everyone, Tom Butwin here for Premier Guitar. Today we're taking a look at Doubleday Guitars from Austin, Texas. Before we dig into these beautiful instruments, make sure you are subscribed to the Premier Guitar YouTube channel so you don't miss anything in the future. To really appreciate what Doubleday Guitars offers, I think it's important to talk a little bit about the history, the short history of the company, as well as some information about the person behind these guitars. And that person is Walker Doubleday. Yes, that's his real name. That's a super cool name, by the way. Walker got into guitar building like a lot of luthiers get into guitar building. That's through some experimentation and shop class. That later led him to go and hone his skills at the Roberto Venn School of Luthery in 2014. And from there, he went on to work at Collings Guitars for about 8 years, where he honed his craft, learned the business, and then set off on his own to make Doubleday guitars as we see them today. So the name of the game with this company is customization and hand-built craftsmanship. Every spec you can think of on a guitar like this, the Thrasher, which is their J-style guitar, the Broadwing, which is the T-style guitar, or the other two models we'll talk about in a second, is customizable by you when you order the guitar. So if it's a fretboard radius you're looking for, a particular fret wire, all the way down to how the pickups are hand wound by Walker himself and the characteristics that you can decide you want in those, really sky's the limit almost when you start to build out your dream guitar with Doubleday Guitars. So there's a couple things that I found really cool about how these guitars are made, and we'll talk about some of the more specky stuff in a moment, particularly with this guitar here, which is the Thrasher. But some really cool things that I thought were kind of unique in this day and age when it comes to guitar building. The necks and the bodies are built together. They are not pulled off of a wall and then married up in some random way. The neck pocket is cut specifically on these bodies for a specific neck, which is super cool. It allows for very tight tolerances and a rock solid build. The other very unique thing about these guitars is the finish. Now, these are all nitro finished guitars. You can have in satin if you want. They are beautiful and they really pop. I don't know if it's coming through there on the camera lens, but trust me when I tell you in person, they are stunning, really cool. Particularly that finish on the Broadwing over there we'll look at in a bit. But that's not where it stops. The other really cool thing about these guitars is that when the bodies are routed, it's actually done after they're finished. Normally that's done in the opposite order. The reason why, from what I understand, Doubleday does this is it allows for the finish to be just buffed and polished in a way that's not possible when you have routing on the guitar already. So it's a nice flat surface. You get that perfect mirror finish on the guitar, and then it's routed after that. So it's a really clean route underneath these pick guards. Very cool process, kind of unique. Now the last two things are, I just couldn't pass up. It's everything about these guitars is Texas, which is super cool. Obviously, it's not just limited to Texas style blues or country, but there's Texas all over these things. So the names of the guitars, this is again the Thrasher, the Broadwing, there's the Starling, and then there's the Buteo. Those are all Texas-based birds, and if that wasn't enough Texas for you, the headstock logo here is not a decal or a sticker or printed. It's actually branded right into the wood. So that's a really cool, nice little touch. And of course, as you would expect with any custom guitar, they are hand serial numbered by the builder, Walker himself. So when you get one of these, you just have all those little personal touches on the guitar that make it very special and really cool. So like I said, Doubleday does offer 4 models. The J-Master style, which is the Thrasher, the T-style, which is the Broadwing, the Starling, which is your S-type guitar with the 3 single coils, And then a custom proprietary body shape and size in the Buteo, which is kind of a mix between maybe a T-style guitar and your favorite Les Paul style guitar. So there's something for everybody in this world that Doubleday has created. This particular one has a 12-inch fretboard radius. It's got the custom wound pickups. It's got locking tuners. It's got the Hallen bridge and hardware on it. Just a very cool representation of this style guitar. Stainless steel frets. Again, all these things are customizable. So if you wanted this guitar, but maybe you wanted a more vintage vibe, of course, you can get vintage inspired tuners from maybe Kluson or something like that. You could have a 7¼ inch radius on the board. Again, this one's a flatter 12-inch, more modern type thing. And that's what's really cool about it, is that, you know, a lot of times when you get a vintage inspired instrument, vintage constructed instrument, you're going to be dealing with vintage specs. If that's not your thing, you can spec it out to be more of a modern guitar, but you still get that kind of older 50s, 60s, 70s vibe that we all love, of course, with our guitars. Now, I did mention that each neck and body are made in conjunction and for each other, and these are not made on CNC machines. No CNC machines are used at all on Doubleday guitars. These are handmade instruments to as much as they can possibly be. Obviously, some of the components that are aftermarket are not handmade by Walker Doubleday, but they're sourced and purposely selected to be high quality add-ons to his handiwork. One of the other really cool things is the handmadeness of these guitars extends down even into the truss rod. The threads on the truss rod are hand cut by Walker Doubleday. So these things just kind of demonstrate the level of detail, the level of customization that you're getting on guitars like this. So this is a great example of that mix that you can get between the modern and the vintage. You've got vintage-inspired tuners with a Kluson bridge that looks like your typical T-style bridge, but it's got slots on it, brass, pieces. It's just kind of an improved version of what you would have expected from maybe the 50s on a guitar like this, but still retains that vintage kind of look. And then when you get to the neck, it's got that fast, flat 12-inch radius, which is great for modern country players or modern rock players. But again, if that's not your thing, you can change all those things back to what you would want, maybe a vintage inspired fretboard radius or somewhere in between with a 9.5. Really, it's up to you. Very cool that you can make those choices. The other thing, of course, on this guitar is the finish. If you can get a good look at that, it's got the gloss, just the wood grain pops through. It's very, very cool. Really, really neat. Again, painted before routing. Just a very unique process and a great result when it comes to a custom made guitar. So if a custom guitar is in your future, make sure you check out Doubleday Guitars in Austin, Texas. You might be saying, though, I know that's going to be expensive. And you're not wrong. These are definitely priced accordingly, starting at $2,850 for the Broadwing and $3,150 for their other three models. Of course, that's as of recording this video here, so things can change. Keep that in mind, but it's going to be in that price range. If you are someone who says, I can't go that route, but I really, really love these guitars, and I really, really enjoy the fact that they're made by one guy in Austin, Texas, don't worry, the standard line from Doubleday Guitars exists as well, and that's where you can get a guitar that still has the same level of detail, attention to detail, and care that's put in by Walker himself, but at a more affordable and approachable price point. The way they do that, you've got polyurethane finishes on the guitar, oil finishes on the neck. They are sourced and assembled at the shop in Austin, Texas. Of course, the fretwork is done by Walker himself, and also the final setup, inspection, assembly, all of it. You're getting that same level of detail. So it's not just an off-the-shelf, out-of-the-box guitar. It's a more affordable version of what Walker's doing with the custom lineup, but there's really something for everybody across the whole shop and the whole lineup. So make sure you check out the website. Again, there's stuff available that's already built on there, but really the magic comes in with these guitars when you sit down and you decide what you want out of a guitar in the custom line. So that's where the fun really begins on these guitars. Once again, this is Tom Butwin for Premier Guitar. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss anything in the future. Make sure to check out Doubleday Guitars in the description below. Let us know what you think in the comments. If you've played one, if you haven't, you want to, head over to the shop in Austin, Texas, or any variety of guitar shows you may see Walker Doubleday at in the future. And I'll see you in the next one.